Whatever it is, and I appreciate Richard Kadabi, has been choir trainer here for long and an officer, and also the one who actually wrote the East African community, and most of you may not know. The other person who is taller than him. One of the Kenyan songs that has beaten the test of time and crossed borders and sung by nearly everyone, all the great names in the world. At this point, nitaomba sana, so those of us who are here, we kindly manage our phones. It's important we do it now because you'll easily forget. We are in a very small room. If it rings, it will do it loud. And it will definitely do that when we start. I don't know why it happens that way. And at that point, you can't get it when you look for it. If we kindly manage our phones. Choir, tuko na wimbo mwingine? With a strong rhythm and that can tempt me to do the dance. That can incite me to doing a dance. Some scholars define dance as organized movement in response to a music stimuli. Others define dance as the movement of the body in all directions. And usually mine falls within that definition of the movement of body in all directions. Choir? Thank you.
morning, ladies and gentlemen. We made sure that we spent all that time so we could be entertained by our lovely choir and the police band. So His Excellency the President is just walking into the building, but the plan is that he shall go upstairs, sign the visitor's book, and then come back down. So don't worry, you may please take your seats. But he's just walking into the building just for about 10 or so minutes, or even less. He shall then come back down, and we shall be guided as to how to proceed. But welcome and karibuni.
powerful edition, Central Bank at 50. Central Bank of Kenya at 50. Mwalimu, another one, kindly. Na niombe wakati ukifika wa Mheshimiwa Rais kuungana nasi hapa, nitaomba sote tuwe tumesimama na tumkaribishe kwa shangwe, kwa furaha tumkaribishe. Na niombe tena ya kwamba after that we'll have the national anthem. Nitaomba sote kwa pamoja tukiongozwa na bendi yetu na kwaya tuimbe kifungu cha kwanza cha wimbo wa taifa wa Jamhuri ya Kenya kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Utafuatiwa na wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. As a friend of mine says, the text or the lyrics of the East African Community Anthem are in the program that we have. Mungu tuwaomba uilinde Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. We have it here. As we encourage each and every one of us to learn. I don't have to tell you that the Kenya National Anthem is also printed because we know that text. So there is no need of telling you that it is printed. So nitaomba tuungane na bendi zetu na kwaya tuimbe kifungu cha kwanza for each of those songs. Kwaya watatuongoza pamoja na Kenya Police Service Band led by the director, Bwana Wabura. Asante. After that, Dongo, you'll just come straight for the prayer, and then we can move on with the rest of the program. So when the president is, okay, I'll call you to come. Thank you. Director of music. One more. Thank you. deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. A song that you perform and you feel good in your heart about your country. A great country that we have. Thank you. And I realize I'm not very badly off, also it's not too husky. Thank you. We welcome the President with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, sir. And now we set up for the national anthem and the East African Community Anthem. And as we continue studying, Catherine Dongo from Central Bank will lead us in a short prayer.
Let's bow down our heads to pray. Our Father and our God, this morning we want to thank you and to honor you, O God. We want to thank you for this is the day that you have made, and we are choosing to rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we want to commit the function that is ahead of us before you, that you will guide us and give us even the good direction, O Master. We want to thank you for this nation, Kenya. We want to thank you for our president. Thank you for this time that we can be together even with our president, oh God. Thank you for the honor that you have given to Central Bank this morning. We want to give you praise and to give you honor, for this is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Your Excellency, sir, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated as Governor Central Bank, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, sorry. Dr. Patrick Njoroge, just to confirm, takes up the program. Daktari, karibu sana. Karibu. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, yes, there was a correction there in my name. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you, Your Excellency, to the Central Bank of Kenya. On behalf of the board and staff, I'm particularly grateful, Your Excellency, for graciously accepting to visit Central Bank despite your busy schedule. Your visit is also historic, as it is your first visit to the Central Bank as president. The history of the Central Bank is intertwined with the history of our country. Its vision and objectives are built on the aspirations of the Kenyan people. We have faced both difficulties and challenges, opportunities with courage and hope. CBK has advanced towards the vision of a modern, world-class central bank. We are proud of the progress that we have made. Nevertheless, there's still some work to be done, such as finding innovative ways to provide credit to SMEs and other excluded sectors. Your Excellency, on this occasion of your visit, we will present you a symbolic check for dividends that were remitted to the government on November 12th, 2018. In making its determination on the amount of these dividends, the CBK board also considered CBK's financial needs with the objectives of ensuring CBK is well-resourced to deliver on its mandates, as CBK supports our country best by delivering on its mandates. Your Excellency, there is a pending matter. There's a pending matter concerning the issuance of new generation currency, that is, notes and coins that are consistent with the 2010 Constitution. This is one of CBK's mandates, and the Constitution provides guidance on the features and elements that may be depicted. CBK invited the public to provide their views on the design elements. Having consulted widely, CBK considered and selected the most appropriate elements, the design features that best meet CBK's technical requirements, serve the public aspirations, and capture the spirit of the Constitution. Your Excellency, the Central Bank of Kenya has now completed the process of producing the new generation coins in accordance with the Constitution and all applicable laws. I confirm that the new generation coins were issued today, December 11, 2018, by a Gazette notice. They are now legal tender. Your Excellency, it gives me great pleasure to request you to unveil, after your speech, the new generation coinage of the Republic of Kenya. The new coins bear a significant aspect of our nation, and therefore will serve as a means of passing knowledge, conserving culture, and promoting our global uniqueness. By engraving the selected images in the coinage, an awareness of our country and its characteristics will be revitalized, giving physical expression to a newly reborn and prosperous Kenya. In the coming days, the Central Bank will roll out an awareness campaign, educating the public on the features of the new coinage. The new coins will circulate alongside the coins previously issued but not withdrawn. Additionally, in keeping with the spirit of being responsible of our environment in the coinage, the Central Bank pledges 1 million tree seedlings through the Greening Kenya campaign to mitigate climate change. Finally, let me thank all Kenyans and our guests for joining us to mark this milestone. I would be remiss if I did not mention the Central Bank's greatest asset, its staff. Most of them are unsung heroes who work quietly every day at their post. All dedicate themselves with professionalism, integrity, and a spirit of service. Thank you for your dedication. It's now my pleasure to invite the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, Mr. Henry Rotich, to make his remarks. Karibu Waziri.
Your Excellency, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, the Governor, Deputy Governor, the Chair of the Central Bank Board, the members of the board, the staff of the Central Bank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's really indeed an honor to witness Your Excellency's first visit to the Central Bank of Kenya as President, and a significant event, obviously, in the history of the Central Bank of Kenya. I feel particularly honored to be part of this event as Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury and Planning, and having worked as a member of staff of the Central Bank of Kenya for several years. Your Excellency, my task this morning is to invite you to address this gathering. But before I do that, allow me, Your Excellency, just to say a few words. First, I would like to commend the work of the Central Bank in contributing to stable macroeconomic environment in Kenya. Working together, our economic growth over the last 5 years was stronger relative to sub-Saharan African countries, averaging at around 5% per annum over the last 5 years. We are now poised to grow at over 6% this year, thanks, Your Excellency, to your strong leadership in improving the business environment and the steady infrastructure and social investments that we have done. As you all know, inflation, interest rates, and exchange rates have largely been stable even during very difficult situations like the one we witnessed last year, where we had severe drought and uncertainty occasioned by elections. I therefore would like to commend the Central Bank for constantly refining its tools over time to ensure that it remains efficient and effective to deliver on CBK's objective in a changing environment. This has become particularly important now and the years to come when the CBK has to deal with the challenging external environment as advanced economies seek to normalize their monetary policy and raise interest rates, and also increase also in the trade tension between the US and China. On our part at the National Treasury, the fiscal policy will continue to remain supportive of the monetary policy, while at the same time strike an appropriate balance between supporting the Big Four agenda and sustainable debt. Indeed, our fiscal plan in this financial year and the medium term is for a gradual reduction of deficits to levels agreed in the planned East African Community Monetary Union convergence criteria of 3% of GDP. Secondly, Your Excellency, our financial sector strategy under the MTP3 and Vision 2030 is that of a stable, efficient, inclusive, and competitive financial sector. Here, save for the challenges of the two banking institutions, let me also commend the Central Bank for maintaining stability in the banking sector. The more recent tightening of the regulation of banks and the clamping down on market indiscipline is commendable. I would like to assure CBK of the Treasury's support to foster stability of the banking sector and the effectiveness and efficiency of the national payment system. In particular, we will work closely to come up with a package of financial sector reforms covering consumer protection issues and ways to increase credit to SMEs in response to the public concern on the high cost of credit to some segments of our society. Thirdly, Your Excellency, as banker to the government, the CBK has continued to perform this service well with efficiency and continuing to maintain the various accounts of the government ministries. With the coming on board of the county governments and the introduction of the internet banking, CBK now is able to offer these services far more efficiently, unlike 50 years ago when mobile phones and internet did not exist. Here, I wish to call for continued refinement of the integration of our IFMIS cash management system with CBK's internet banking so as to fully reap the benefit of Treasury's single account. Finally, Your Excellency, I want to acknowledge the dividend that were remitted on November 12th, 2018, signified today with the symbolic check that will be presented to you, Your Excellency. While I concur that the value of the CBK operation is much greater and on the need to ensure CBK is well-resourced to deliver on its mandate in the years to come, I'm very sure the CBK can do better in the future. You also know, Your Excellency, government operations, especially the Big Four agenda, has equally become large, and there is need to resource the exchequer also better going forward. So we will continue to engage on this to ensure that we comply with the existing legal requirement. Last but not least, Your Excellency, allow me to thank the board, the management, and all the staff of the Central Bank of Kenya for working diligently to fulfill their mandate and the national duty. Ladies and gentlemen, with those remarks, it is now my honor to invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, to make his address. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Henry, and your love for money. Please sit down. Thank you. Chairman of the board, and your members, Governor of the Central Bank, and your staff, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying that I am, without doubt, delighted to be here today. This being my very first visit as president to the Central Bank of Kenya. Last time I entered those doors was in 1984, when I came to look for some foreign exchange to go to school. And I was told to go upstairs and see some secretary. So I don't know whether those things still exist or whether you're now doing things in a different manner. Yeah, Joseph. But let me say, it has not escaped my notice that today is actually the eve of our country's 55th Jamhuri Day, a day when we reflect and celebrate on our independence and our aspirations as Kenyans. I want to once again commend the board, management, and indeed all the staff of the central bank for successfully steering the banking sector, our monetary policy, and our national payment system in a very challenging global and domestic environment. Thanks to your hard work and commitment, our shilling has remained fairly stable and competitive, and equally encouraging, the banking industry as a whole has been vibrant, competitive, and without doubt, I believe, the most innovative on the African continent. This has gone a long way to support our social and economic transformational agenda that is articulated in our Vision 2030 national blueprint. But we also acknowledge that we still have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to transform our country into a globally competitive and prosperous nation with a high quality of life for all. And this, I believe, is in line with our spirit and the spirit also of our 2010 Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a proven fact that strong and robust public institutions are a prerequisite for effective public service delivery and the realization of sustained development for any nation, and Kenya is no exemption. We achieve positive outcomes when public institutions such as the central bank pursue their constitutional and statutory mandates in an environment of liberty and their constitutionally guaranteed operational, and I repeat, operational independence. My administration's pledge to the people of Kenya is to continue to nurture a political and legal framework that allows independent institutions to carry out their national mandate without any undue hindrance. Indeed, independent institutions operating within the bounds of their enabling legislations are an essential aspect of any thriving democracy and also critical to economic transformation. Anchoring the central bank in the Constitution's safeguards, its independence in discharging its mandate, one of which is the production of currency, like the new generation coinage that we are launching today. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to put the matter of independence in its proper context. When I had the privilege to address the annual Congress of the Forum of Chairs of Constitutional and Independent Offices on October 12, 2018, this was in Meru, I did emphasize that these institutions don't exist outside of government, removed from the demands and expectations that are placed on all of us by Kenyans in exercise of their constitutional rights. And I did make it clear that it is necessary for us to have clear consultations so as to ensure harmony in our policies, and this cannot be debatable. Indeed, consultation is a constitutional requirement as it is necessary for effective governance and service delivery. I therefore expect the central bank, management, and board to be alive to this fact, as well as all other constitutional commissions. Ladies and gentlemen, today, in addition to accepting, as you have heard, Henry is very excited about it, a dividend check from the central bank, we shall also be unveiling the set of new generation coins which are compliant with our 2010 Constitution of Kenya. Since taking office in 2013, my administration has midwifed the transition to a new constitutional order, which entails working with various institutions to implement the Constitution and to execute their mandates. I'm therefore extremely pleased that today we can achieve yet another milestone, launching the family of new generation coins. They honor the wishes of the people of Kenya in regard to their national currency as expressed in our Constitution. And I am happy to note that the public aspirations and views were considered. I see my friend, where has he gone? Papi, Mumeru, oh, Rakopale. I am also informed that the coins contain features that make them more accessible to visually impaired persons, and I applaud you for that. Hongera sana. Ladies and gentlemen, a nation's currency is not merely an instrument for exchange of value. Beyond being a medium of exchange, a store of value, an unit of account, the motifs and design elements in currencies present a unique way of recording history, celebrating a country's diverse culture, and our natural environment. In our case, the circulating coinage has featured images and portraits that reveal historic and political developments that have defined our country for over a century. I am informed that the new generation of coins continues the tradition of depicting an aspect that best describes our country. Indeed, the choice of the main theme, Kenya Reborn and Prosperity, is a true reflection of the spirit of our Constitution and Kenya's development goals as outlined in our Vision 2030. I thank the Board of Directors, management and staff of the Central Bank of Kenya for the diligent work producing the new generation coinage, and I also salute the members of the public as well as the public institutions. Professor, I've forgotten your name and I'm trying to mention you. Where? Eh? Eh? Wallace Kantai, namna hiyo, muendelee namna hiyo. Yeah. I also salute the members of the public for their valuable input in the design proposals submitted for consideration by the bank. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, given the fact that I never have an opportunity like the governor to put all these money people in one room, but he has, somehow he can do it. I really want to make one appeal. Our country is growing, we are wanting to transform our country. We cannot transform our country if we ignore the fact that we need to be able to bring on board our small and medium enterprises. Today, our country, and the backbone of our economy, is the SMEs. We have all seen what the political class has tried to do. And I'm not trying to say that they did it in the right way. It has faced its own challenges, and we accept. But it is in response to the fact that there is lack of credit to our small and medium-sized enterprises. And I believe that you, as the financial sector, have a responsibility, not necessarily to be governed by law, but to be governed by your own commitment and dedication to this country, to see how you can ensure that we avail credit to these SMEs. They are the backbone. They are the ones that are going to help us create jobs. They are the ones who will guarantee you good returns. And this I promise. But that can't happen if you exclude them and ignore them. And this is something that my government is looking into. This is something that we are asking the central bank to look into. But most importantly, I am asking you to look at. Kenya has changed. We cannot just say that the only secure borrowers are large companies and government. You must be innovative. You must begin to look at new ways. And we are willing to support you to do that if there are things that we need to do. But we must have affordable and available credit to our small and medium enterprises if this country is going to achieve the economic transformation that some of us have set upon ourselves. And I ask you, as the owners of credit, it is time for you also to start changing and looking at new ways of approaching how you deal with the issue of credit. We have a lot of young and very innovative people. They may not have title deeds, but they have great ideas. We can take on jointly the responsibility of training them how to manage their accounts, how to manage money. But at the end of the day, that is of no use if they can't access credit. If they can't access credit. So I am really looking forward in 2019 to working very closely together with you to see how we can ensure that credit is availed to our small and medium enterprises, credit is availed to our farmers, because this is the backbone of our economy. And this is how you will also make money going forward. So anyway, I couldn't avoid that opportunity kuambia you. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor and privilege to launch and unveil the new generation coins of the Republic of Kenya. I understand I'm the first one to have my coin, and thank you all, and God bless you, and have a very Merry Christmas, and God willing, a prosperous New Year 2019. Asanteni sana.
We thank you very much, Your Excellency. You may please be seated. So everyone is excited about what His Excellency the President has just announced, but before we forget, we do have a check to give from ourselves as a central bank to Your Excellency the President. So I'll ask for the check to please come forward. You're free to bank the check upside down or any way you want. 800 million shillings. A big round of applause. That is a dividend that we are legally obliged to provide as a banker to the government. All the money people are in one shot, which is an excellent thing. All the bankers are very excited. I can see them smiling very hard. Asanteni sana. Oh, there he goes. Your Excellency, pesa imeingia? Imeingia. Just confirming, and you have the Governor of the Central Bank, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, i.e. the Minister of Finance, but also I wish to remind you, His Excellency, former Minister of Finance, we also have Dr. Kenya, former PS. You have to be very careful with money. Pesa imeingia kwa benki. Now, this one, I want you to get excited. It's not a wedding, but it's almost as good as a wedding. I'll have Fahari please come up and give His Excellency the President the baton. Your Excellency, if you're ready, please press the button. And if you can please keep your eyes on the screens. Thank you. Thank you very much. It gives us greatest pleasure to say we have kept our promise as Kenyans, back to ourselves as Kenyans. But, Your Excellency, if it pleases you, you cannot leave the central bank without us giving you something. So if you could please be accompanied by the governor back to the counter. And if the governor, don't worry, I'll refund you, Mr. Governor. If you could please give the president maybe 100 or 200 shillings if you have some on you. Ukikosa niambie. And His Excellency the President will be the first person in this country to actually receive these coins. No one else has touched them except for now. At this particular moment, you were here when this was going on. He will be receiving change because it can't just be given for free. That's why we had to actually pay it in. He'll be given change with the coins themselves. Anahakikisha kila kitu iko. Mr. President, feel free to count, please. Tusikudanganye. The President is being issued with the new coins in exchange for the banknote that he presented to the teller. I think it was 100 shillings. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And he's putting them in the box. We know the president's pockets may not necessarily accommodate coins. Tumempatia kasanduku ili aweze kuweka mahali pazuri. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Asante sana. Now, if you could please, Your Excellency, the Governor, and all our dignitaries, now everyone wants change. The President, in his generosity, is issuing the coins. You know, some of us grew up in Kisumu. So as we say where I come from, Pesa or Tas, Bank or Tuch. He's distributing the coins. Pesa imeisha. And now finally, because he's just given away all his coins, unfortunately, I will ask the governor to please present to the president a symbolic box, but it actually contains the real currency, but it's well mounted. And this is the one that has all the coins, the explanations behind them, and I'll please ask the governor to please provide them to His Excellency the President. Yes, please. That is our new currency, ladies and gentlemen. We have kept the promise to ourselves. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Congratulations, Governor, and everyone else who's been involved in this. So the little booklet inside explains every element and aspect of the coin. Thank you very, very much. It's an exciting day. We are bringing Jamhuri Day to you before Jamhuri Day. So for now, before the excitement dies down, I'll please ask us to all stand up as we have the national anthem as we come to the end of our ceremony this morning. Thank you very much. You may please take your seats. Your Excellency, I'll ask you to please, once you're done, to please come this way. We have a set of photographs. For the rest of us, could you please remain in the room while that set of photographs is taken? And shall I finish? Just a few minutes. There's a set of photographs, just 4, which will take not more than 5 minutes. Sorry to keep you. We had to make sure that all the protocols have been observed and carried out. We know you came fairly early, so we cannot leave you just like that to go. Not for the coins. But we have some refreshments upstairs in the parking lot. For those of you that have been here to the Central Bank before, it's a first floor parking lot. You shall be guided by the ushers. For those of you that haven't, again, please feel free to follow the ushers. They're to my left. We'll go up there. The space is open. We have some refreshments there, and you can leave at your own leisure. And because His Excellency President has departed, for those of you that may need to leave at this time, again, please feel free to do so. But thank you so very much for coming. Asanteni kwa kuja. The coins shall be coming to you. The bankers know how they're coming to them. For the rest of us, we might have to wait. But thank you very much, and have a good morning.